Here's my short summary of what happened in session 3 for purposes of video completeness. There's a number of reflections in the comments about the game at its play from all of us, sharing a little more about what session 3 was like. But for video completeness, as I say, here's what happened. Willy gets to meet the infamous Amos Zag mayoral candidate, Lena Bach, the woman that he contacted, and whom he's convinced, and is, they have a meeting of minds that this serial killing is bad. Go figure. But she wants it to be handled in-house in Amos Zag's organization, and has decided that Willy will meet the man himself. So, at the hotel room, Willy and Amos meet. John brings quite an Amos Zag to the screen. I'm very sad that that is not available to anyone's viewing. Very, very effective that this person has brought their years as a cult leader into politics and is very good at it and is very much everybody's daddy and everybody's friend, with just this air of moments of menace that jump out, that Lena, the character, is clearly blinding herself to, or just missing, or has faith that they aren't really there, or something. But Willy picks up on being Willy, and quickly, and I think for a moment, and Willy says the only way to be safe is to be close to the enemy, so leverages himself a job inside Zag's organization. Unfortunately, tipping his hand when he pushes it a little too far, so Zag doesn't like him and is onto him, knows that Willy's like trying to push his knowledge of the serial killing, into a position of advantage. So the two of them are in kind of this not quite saying so, little death duel, but Willy gets the job. I mean, Lena can't be evidently permitted to know just how bad her boss is as far as the boss is concerned. So Willy's on thin ice, but, kind of skating along in his way. Had a few failed rolls, a few successful rolls, and it kind of plays out real well. But we leave him in the apartment. I'm finding myself able to play Willy now. The third session really brought it together. The combination of twitchy and impulsive behavior, but some of it's kind of good. It's kind of coming together. Now, Sam has also, I think, hit upon a way of presenting gratitude that is starting to feel more coherent. Same thing, right? The same, okay, so this is where the character's coming from. And he's gone all the way. She's not a nice person at all. He's the end of the second session intimated or indicated as such. And he took new words in his story, I will get that money. I will get all the money for myself, by any means, stuff like that. I mean, she's all in for the instant grab. Where she ended up was getting into basically pulling the robbery with her professional pals, Ray and Polly, and they've actually got into Zag's penthouse. Now, here's the interesting thing, why I'm even bothering to tell you all this, and that will make session 4, which is recorded, far more coherent to understand this, which is that back in session 2, when I rolled for Willy contacting Lena successfully, and actually finding, a friend in the organization, somebody who would listen to him, and who shared concerns that this kind of thing going on is no good. The trait I used was causing trouble for everybody else, or everybody, basically, causing trouble for everybody. Not actually leaving out Willy in the phrasing. So the point being that it's kind of an Uber trait, in the sense that it doesn't have a very specific action associated with it, but rather some kind of effect that goes along with it. And in this case, inadvertent. In all cases, in the use of that trait, inadvertent, sort of the chaos role, if you will. So I do that, and John, goes, aha, right, and scribbles, says, I'm on it. And this is where it comes home to roost. Clearly, whatever alarm bells that Willy rang in the organization, which don't come down on him because I made that roll, is causing trouble in that organization, and misinformation or some kind of alert or some kind of reactivity on their part, probably based on misunderstanding, screwing everything else up, for them, leads to the creepy twins who were stalking Willy to be diverted to go and mind the apartment. Not because they know it's going to be robbed, but who knows what the organization thinks is going on. But all of a sudden, Amos Zagg's, safe and apartment are now the top priority. And the creepy twins are demobbed off Willy and are busy doing that, which we only find out about when, having, successfully gotten into the apartment, and which is this, penthouse suite. When I say apartment, I mean, we're talking about this really nice place. That Gratitude realizes that it is not empty and that there are two people moving about in this apartment. So that's when the session stopped. But the idea being, at the same time, before they played that, I actually had Willy paranoid, running all over the hotel, trying to seek understanding of entrances and exits so that he would have some idea of how to bolt and where he might go, depending on where people were coming from. And of course, that's kind of hilarious. He's like ducking his head in and out of the kitchen, pardon me, excuse me. And same bellboy sees him in different parts of the hotel through the course of the night and is like, who the hell is this guy? Stuff like that. But it's all worthless. Willy is, obviously spends all night exhausting himself doing this, but the twins aren't there, which we don't know. I mean, I'm just doing this because I just can't imagine Willy settling down. Then we move over to the penthouse, and we go through the business of the successful break-in, and we discover the twins are there, whom Gratitude doesn't even know who these people are. Okay. That's where that session ended. Gratitude, to have been revealed to be extraordinarily ruthless in this entire situation. Willy having managed to get himself either into more or less trouble, depending on how you look at it. Willy in the hotel room, waiting for his mobilization into Zagg's organization, and probably just passing out in exhaustion sooner or later in the course of the night. Gratitude, in this quiet luxury penthouse suite, recognizing that there are people here. So, session 4 coming up too. Enjoy that.